I would say, and also this in general, it might be the case then or we see also in the industry, the biggest deal is always to increase like the customer engagement, of course, in the end. So like naming visit frequency, the purchase frequency, also to increase the AOV. This is, I would say, the 3 key challenges we are dealing with, or in general, the industry is then dealing with. And in the end, of course, it's all about numbers. What is the outcome of such challenges? And of course, I give some numbers here. As mentioned, we are not having all challenges for all of our customers. So we are building segments based on their customer behavior and giving them specific points or having then specific requirements based on these behaviors for our challenges. And for example, for the login frequency, in some segments, we also could reach up to 3.5% of more logins compared to our control group. So for more inactive as well for our super active customers, this was the case with such login frequency challenges. And to name another number or another example, I mentioned for the average order value. Also here in some segments, we reached uplifts compared to our control group between 3 to 7%. So this is a good number, definitely.
Okay, so I believe that we are live at this point. So hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. Today, we are going to discuss gamified challenges in retail. So especially to all those of you who represent retail, this episode is going to be a really valuable piece of content. And today we have an awesome guest. We have Verena Pflug, a product owner at Limango. Hi, Verena. Great to have you.
Hi, Eric. Very happy to be here today. And thanks for the invite for this podcast.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So to all of you who still hesitate, should I stay till the end of the discussion? I have at least 3 arguments. So stay with us, because by the end of our discussion, you will learn the inside look at Limango's loyalty program, the business impact and measurable outcomes, and also practical advice directly from Verena. So these 3 arguments are definitely strong. So, keep on going and stay with us till the end. Verena, for all those people who might not be familiar with Limango yet, could you briefly describe, the Limango and its business model?
Yeah, sure. Definitely. I can do this. So Limango is like a private online shopping platform, operating in Germany, in Austria, Poland, and in the Netherlands. And, offers exclusive time-limited promotions tailored especially for families. So this is our main target group. So what we do, we offer, curated selections of clothing, footwear, toys, household items for children, and of course, and also for parents. So all what families need, I would say, in the end. To describe a little bit more, we have run about 5,000 promotions per year, and a loyal customer base of over 2 million active users. So to say, it's like a platform which combines value with convenience in a family-oriented e-commerce shop.
Perfect. Thank you so much for this background. It's over 2 million customers. This is impressive. So everything that we are going to discuss is tested on a large scale of customers, right? And also you have variety of different products, variety of different customers. So I guess that it makes, everything we are going to talk about really exciting. I know that you used to be a business owner and currently you are a product owner. So also just as a sort of background, if you could just give us an idea of the core responsibilities in these 2 roles.
Yes, sure, I can. So I would say as a business owner, definitely you need to understand your business. You need to understand your customers. And in the end, like create a loyalty program that fits definitely to your customers' needs. And definitely it's also worth to participate in this loyalty program. And on the other side, now as a product owner, of course, also in this role, you need to understand the customers. But in the end, like your responsibility as a product owner is to take the requirements from the business side. And of course, definitely you have a lot of requirements. So you need to deal in the end also with these priorities, what to do first, what is more important to manage all these requirements. And in the end, definitely make it happen that the program is working as expected.
Brilliant. Thank you. I wanted to ask this question because it just makes you the perfect person, being as a true loyalty builder at this point, because you understand the business side, obviously, but you also understand the technology and you know how to translate those business requirements into the technology that allows everything to happen. So, I'm so happy that we could dive into the details together. So, we are going to focus on Family Star. This is Limango's loyalty program. So again, just, to make sure that everyone who is with us understands the general concept. If we could briefly, describe Family Star to the audience.
Mm-hmm, sure. So our loyalty program is called Family Star. So also here we have a connection to our main target group, our families. First of all, customers in our loyalty program, they can collect points while doing challenges. Which kind of challenges? I will come back later to this. But our loyalty program, so to say, is based on like two main pillars. On one side, customers can do the challenges, and with these challenges, they can collect points. And with these different points, they can reach different levels. And with these different levels, they have like level voucher, exclusive voucher, which are also time limited. So this is like the one side. And on the other side, with these challenges and collecting points, they can also earn money for the wallet amount. And this means in our context, 100 points means €1. So they have at least also with doing challenges, level up for your different levels, but also collect like real money for your wallet amount. Mm. And in the end, of course, how they profit from it is they can use the level vouchers or any other vouchers they have together with their wallet amount and also together with the gift card. So we have like free discount options customers can use in one purchase.
Perfect. So you use a variety of different mechanics, but it's not this simple, let's say, standard earn and burn, which means that for every purchase you get points, but you also design your program around specific challenges. And then As a result of completing the challenge, your customers receive points, and then they could just move up the tiers, right? We are probably going to go into details in a moment. But before that, what is the outcome, the sort of like the goal for the program itself?
Like the goal for the program itself, I would say is, we want to build this platform approach where all of our services, like our private shop, our marketplace, we have the app, we have also a secondhand or a tell a friend program. So we want to connect all of these services into one platform. And our loyalty program in this case build like the, so to say, umbrella, I call it this way, for it and connects everything. So where it's quite easy then to collect points for easy transactions, but also interactions. For example, invite your friend and you get some points, or download the app and you get some points. So we are not talking only about transactions, but also interactions. And then it's quite easy to collect these points, but also on the other side, to use this money or to use then the points for each purchase. So it's like an earning money quite easy, but also redeeming money quite easy, and have then a real value.
Perfect. Okay, so it also sounds like one platform that allows you, or the umbrella, as you just called it, that allows you to create even like the coherent customer experience, right? Because I believe that through challenges, you could even like onboard new users or educate them what is possible, right? What you could achieve with the platform. Thank you for explaining the big picture for the program. If we could dive into the specific mechanics, because obviously gamification is a huge part of the program, but there are different mechanics that might be considered like gamify or actually that gamify the experience. So, what specific elements are you using in the loyalty program currently?
Mm-hmm. So as already mentioned, we have not only transaction-based challenges, but also interaction-based challenges. So to give a few examples, when our customers interact with the app, like downloading the app or just log into the app. So this is something we can specify and differentiate between a web and the app login. So quite easy interactions, I would say. Or also to mention, invite your friend to our Limango platform or register for our secondhand shop. So customers can collect easy points in this case. And with our secondhand shop, for example, we have more challenges. The first step is register for a secondhand shop. Then customers can collect points also for upload some products you want to sell on this platform. Also, then on the buyer side, you get some points when you buy secondhand or secondhand products. So this means in general, also with a more sustainable character included, and not only, as mentioned, interaction-based, but also then transaction-based challenges in general. Then one big topic, I would say, or what we can also differentiate is we do not have only one action challenges. Also here to give an example, we have one challenge, for example, register for our newsletter. So this is just one action needed, and then customers are incentivized via points. But on the other side, we also have some challenges where you need to fulfill more steps to get then the reward in the end. And also to name here one example is our challenge, which is called Big Deal, because for this big deal and to get then in the end the points is you need to do 10 orders above 50 euro each, for example, to get then in the end the big incentive. So this is how we differentiate between also one-time actions and so-called achievement challenges where customers need to do more steps to fulfill these challenges then in the end. And then, of course, also how we combine it then is with additional vouchers. So as mentioned at the beginning, we have these level vouchers, and the big improvement or like the big value for our customers is then to have this money on the wallet, to have the vouchers in their account and to use all for one purchase in the end.
Awesome. I really like the idea that, if you are there for, let's say, like a quick incentive, you can always find a particular challenge for that. But if you stay for longer, right, and you think like long term, and I believe that for families, this is often the case, then you will also find those challenges that reward you after, let's say, a certain progress. By the way, I think that it's worth mentioning that in Limango, you have a selection of challenges, right? And you can pick and choose, right? How did you organize this element?
Yeah, in general, of course, what we are doing is not to have each challenge for all of our customers. So they are more segmented based challenges. And of course, this is then depending on what is the customer behavior. So some customers, like also at the beginning, we have simple challenges. They need to get to know Limango. They need to get to know the platform, also the loyalty program. So we have like simple challenges at the beginning, just to introduce customers and that they know about the advantages of our loyalty program. And of course, when customers are more frequent buyer, more frequent visitors, then we have challenges which are harder to reach, but still not too hard. Of course, it should be just a gamification effect and not too challenging in the end.
Yeah, I get it. Although I was recently discussing gamification with one of the experts on the topic, and he did a lot of research on actually those challenges that seem to be really pushing people. They seem to be very effective, and very often is those challenges that require effort. They are considered to be very valuable and really worth the pursuit. So I'm wondering, I could later on refer to maybe particular challenges that you have observed. Maybe you have similar observations. But I wanted to also understand the key metrics that you observe. So you've mentioned the umbrella function of the program, but what kind of outcomes are you usually looking at when we discuss those individual challenges?
Mm-hmm. I would say, and also this in general, it might be the case then or we see also in the industry, the biggest deal is always to increase the customer engagement, of course, in the end. So naming visit frequency, the purchase frequency, also to increase the AOV. This is, I would say, the 3 key challenges we are dealing with, or in general, the industry is then dealing with. And first of all is, to increase the visit frequency. So in the end, you need to encourage customers to check in more often. What keeps your brand top of mind, to increase the chances of impulse purchases or in general higher conversion rates. And to reflect this on or in the private shopping area, as for limango, frequent visits are crucial, I would say, due to rotating and also, as mentioned, our time-limited campaigns and our time-limited deals, definitely. The second point or the second challenge is to increase the purchase frequency. So I would say once customers are visiting more regularly our shop, of course, the goal is to convert always those visits into more purchases or purchase in general more often, whether through better targeting. So we communicate to customers their favorite brands, for example, or offer relevant products, or of course, then also in the end with the loyalty program, with our vouchers, with more or higher incentives. And I would also say the higher frequency in general creates in general a better or greater customer lifetime value and reduces then on the other side the reliance on the consistent acquisition, because once customers are there, once they are visiting more frequently, of course you do not need to put this effort into, or not so much effort into, new customers then in the end.
Sure.
And you mentioned in the last one is to, of course, to increase the average order value. So for each purchase, of course, what is the goal? To have a higher or to spend that customers are spending more money.
Absolutely. So you've got quite a few particular KPIs to look at. And I'm wondering, is it possible for you to give us an example of a, let's say, particular challenge that serves this particular KPI, and that if you could give us an example of a challenge that proves to be really effective when it comes to either engaging customers for the first time, or maybe building this long-term engagement.
To mention examples, so we have challenges where customers for example need to purchase 2 times per month with an average order value of €50 each. So in such challenges, I would say we are focusing then more on the purchase frequency rather than in the AOV. And on the other side, of course, we also have specific challenges where we only focus on the average order value, based on the average order value from this customer in the previous purchases. And for the login frequency, here we also have challenges like, for example, log in 2 times per month. So this is then more a challenge for our inactive customers. Or on the other side, we also have challenges with log in 8 times per month. So this is more than for our active customers. And also, of course, here to increase the frequency, the login frequency as well. Mm-hmm. And what we are doing, and this is then how we combine these challenges also with other data we have. Since, for example, we know the favorite brands from these customers, we can combine such data then in the custom communication and say something like, hey, your favorite brand is starting today. Just check in and log in. So we are pushing, or we are communicating to customers and pushing them to log in, because this is like the base for our challenge, and to push the purchase frequency, but also with an additional trigger to mention the favorite brand. Or on the other side, we can also say, hey, your favorite brand is starting today. Check it out. Fill in your basket with €50, because this is like the average order value you need to have. And then you fulfill your purchase challenge. So this is something we are combining here. Mm-hmm. And in the end, of course, it's all about numbers. What is the outcome of such challenges? And of course, I give some numbers here. As mentioned, we are not having all challenges for all of our customers. So we are building segments based on their customer behavior, and giving them specific points, or having them specific requirements based on these behaviors for our challenges. And for example, for the login frequency, in some segments, we also could reach up to 3.5% of more logins compared to our control group. So for more inactive as well for our super active customers, this was the case with such login frequency challenges. And to name another number or another example, I mentioned for the average order value. Also here in some segments, we reached uplifts compared to our control group between 3 to 7%. So this is a good number, definitely. And of course, what I want to mention is you should know in general your customers and the behavior, and then based on this, adjusting the requirements, do the requirements for this challenge, what they need to fulfill. That it's also not too hard to fulfill this challenge, but still it needs to be challenging. Mm-hmm. And to reward these challenges with the right amount of points. And in the end, as mentioned with our test group and also control group, it's about testing, and adjusting in the end.
Right. I was going to ask you about, how do you make sure that those different challenges are aligned, the different personas, the let's say different, groups of customers that you observe, that there are certain challenges that might be, interesting or might be exciting to all those, how do you align around those challenges so that actually you can observe those kind of metrics that you have just mentioned?
Yeah, this is exactly what I mentioned. Of course, we have some basic challenges which are for all of our customers. When we have some special actions, for example, like Easter was there a few weeks ago, or for Christmas, or also it's the case then for Black Friday. Of course, these challenges are for all of our customers. So these are our basic challenges. But on the other side, as mentioned, we have this segmented based approach, where we know our customers, where we know the behavior of our customers, where we combine this with other data. So we target customers then with the right communication, combining it with, as mentioned, we have also some challenges where you can where you can get points for put your product on your wish list, or put your brand on the wish list. So also here, easy challenges, easy interactions. Customers can collect these points. We have more data about what we can communicate to our customers. And then it's in the end combining these affinities or individual personalized data with the challenge requirements based on the customer behavior.
That's really cool and really clever. So you use the wish list feature as a sort of repository for declarative data that, for example, I'm interested in these particular products, right? Or these brands, these product categories. Awesome.
For example, so this is something we can communicate in the end and combining it with the open and available challenges customers have.
So that's super cool. And thank you for explaining this relationship between interactions and transactions, that both of these challenges can really contribute to let's say, personalized offer. And then probably, these are like the reasons why you can observe the difference from 3 to 7%, which is quite significant, right? I thought about this practical aspect of meeting with you today and asking you about particular tips or suggestions for all those people who also like the either are starting with a loyalty program and they definitely want to use gamification. Some of the members of our audience will already have programs, but they will not have gamification yet. So what are, let's say, your practical tips when it comes to designing challenges and implementing gamification into customer loyalty?
Yeah, sure. First of all, and this is what I mentioned, I guess quite often now is know your audience and make the program like relevant from the first day on. What I mean with this is like reward your customers within directly the first steps, getting to know your brand, super easy. For example, we have special easy challenges which customers can fulfill only in the first 30 days. So this is quite a specific segment where we also have only these challenges in the first 30 days where we build a segment on this. So we incentivize customers just for log into our shop, for example, the first time of the registration, or put some products, as mentioned, to the brand wish list, to the product wish list. So easy interactions, I would say, which they might do somehow anyway. And they directly experience then, the benefit of the loyalty program and get to know the advantages. So in the end, I would say you need to understand your customers' like motivation. You need to have this gamification experience to their interests and behavior. And of course, later on, depending then on the customer's activity, challenges, they all need to get harder to reach, but not unreachable, I would say. So This is like my first tip in this case.
Absolutely. That totally makes sense. I believe that it is also challenging, like this, having this sort of getting customers to feel that, okay, this challenge is exciting because it's not that easy, but still like progressing through like this journey. So later on, if we have time, I will definitely come back to this tip because there is definitely like, more to that. Okay. What are some others that you could share with the audience?
Mm-hmm. The second one is, and this is somehow then also connected to the first tip. And as mentioned before, like challenges should not be unreachable and definitely they should have a real value. So ensure definitely that the rewards are valuable and meaningful to the customers. So I would say customers, they want to feel that interactions or their transactions lead to something worthwhile, definitely. So we are creating challenges based on the requirements, based on their like shopping behavior. So somehow it's then personalized, and still it feels reachable, to customers, and, they feel like in the end, the true benefit, for it. And maybe coming back directly, what you mentioned before, of course, we are creating these challenges, and also, on our shop, we have the specific page where they can see what challenges they have available. But in the end, it's also how to engage customers or how to inform customers about their challenges. It's all about the communication. So we have like different communication touch points And also here, this helps us again, coming back and to mention one more example. When we have challenges for customers, easy interactions, download the app, log into the app. What does it mean for us? We have like one new touch point, the app where we can communicate to our customers. And this is what is always relevant. Of course, you can set up challenges, but in the end, customers need to be informed about these challenges.
Yeah, so definitely this onboarding part, and as you've mentioned, those interactions, that's going to be crucial. And here is where I could see that gamification can really help. That, you know, sometimes if you just inform your customers, hey, we have an app, would you be interested in downloading the app? It's not that, let's say, effective as putting it as a challenge and then actually rewarding people for downloading the app, and also rewarding people for making sure that we can communicate with them effectively through the app. So that would be probably the point that I've seen quite effective in different programs, not only in retail, but actually this interaction and this first challenge as like, let's make sure that we do have those different channels of communication with members, right? Perfect. Okay, so we do have those 2 tips. And then what would be the third one?
The third one is also, I would say, keep it simple and engaging. So gamification should be intuitive and seamless. So make it fun, but not too complicated in the end. So people, I would say, they don't want to spend the time of finding how to earn the points, how to get these rewards. Like customers, they want to be rewarded, I would say, quickly for their engagement. They do not have a lot of time to be on the platform, to browse through the shop. So that's why our system is working the way that challenges are fulfilled automatically. So this means customers, they do not need to activate any challenges. Like, for example, I know this from, the Rossmann app. So there you need to activate the vouchers and to have this benefit in the end for the purchase. For us, it's not the case. Of course, it's also the case that customers won't get then their open challenges in detail because they are not reading through it, or maybe they are not checking the newsletter, etc. So they might fulfill it by mistake. But in the end, I would say it's better, or they are happy then when they get informed and surprised about their new points, and surprised about, hey, you fulfilled this challenge and you now have more money on your wallet and you can use this money for your next purchase.
Oh yeah, I can relate to that. I can imagine that. I am a member of, I think that in Poland there is this also retailer, it's legal. And in the app, you also have certain coupons, and you still have to decide which of the coupons you are going to use. If you don't activate it, it's not possible to use it. But I believe that with your approach to design, you have this moment of like this joyful moment, right? When you didn't expect to read anything.
Element.
Right, exactly. But then there is this surprise, let's say, already put into the system, because as you've mentioned, like you might not be aware of the fact that there is a certain challenge for something, but still, as a user, as a member, as a customer, you just still needed to purchase something, or maybe do some other action, and then boom, it's you are eligible for a reward, which is super cool. Okay, I know that I've asked about the 3 tips, but it's just because our time here is limited, so I could easily ask you for many more. But just to also maybe focus on the main thread. You've mentioned the importance of making the challenge easy to understand and easy to complete. But on the other hand, there is this certain challenge that, okay, once something is terribly easy, it's even not worth trying. Have you observed anything like that that a particular challenge was too easy, so people were not engaging, and then you had to, let's say, make it more challenging in order to activate more users?
In general, I mean, this is, you only know this by testing these challenges. And this is what I said before. It's all about testing. And of course, we realized for some of our challenges, especially for this frequency challenges, either it's the login or the purchase frequency, that we were adjusting the points or make it harder. So instead of like do 2 challenges in 1 month for one group, it was then in the end do 3 purchases in 1 month. Because also what we have seen is that this group would do 2 purchases even without this challenge. So here, what I meant is, okay, testing it, adjusting the requirements for such challenges, and also playing around with how many points you need to give so that customers feel really rewarded for this challenge, and it's really worth to do like the last step of this challenge. But also on the other side is, of course, not giving too a high amount of points, because this would obviously cost too much money then on our side.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. So since we have covered, everything that we have planned to, and we are about to close this episode, but I still came up with a kind of like a question. I hope you don't mind. I wanted to ask you about those interactions, because the transactions are, for most of our audience, pretty common, because they are used to this idea for, like, earning points and rewarding for points, and basically calculating, what is, what's good and what's not. But I wanted to rely on your instincts. If you were to, let's say, start with just 2 challenges for someone who is, at the very beginning, and these were to be those interaction challenges, what would be the 2 that you would start with? Or what would be the 2 that you would recommend?
Depending on the shop setup, I would say now, but definitely 2 challenges. And in our case, I would do this brand challenges or product and the wishlist connection, because then you have additional data you can use for your communication. And the other one is downloading the app, because then you have a new touch point where your customer is active.
Perfect. Okay, that totally makes sense, because this is, first of all, you make sure that you understand more about your customers, right? And this is the sort of data that you could use later on and build on it and test on it. And the second one is about opening the communication channel and making sure that whatever you have designed is going to be visible to the user.
Yeah.
Perfect.
But definitely in the end, you need to make sure that the whole platform or all your communication channels are connected. So it doesn't make sense to have a challenge download the app or even give the push opt-in, and then you are receiving some points if it's not connected with your loyalty program at all. So then, of course, it makes no sense.
Absolutely. Okay, so Verena, thank you so much for this discussion. Thank you so much for sharing your insights. I'm going to be also throwing the case study that we did a while back. So we have quite interesting data both in these pieces. So both in the case study and both today you have shared those really interesting insights. So thank you so much. So before we wrap it up, is there anything else you would like to share with the audience? If not, I can totally wrap it up for both of us. So, thank you so much for joining us. If you have any sort of questions, feel free to write a comment. I will make sure that, I will find a way to answer it in detail. So if you are in retail and if you would like to learn more about the challenges, we will have some more resources for you. If not, make sure to write a comment and we will be answering all of them. So thank you so much for joining us today, and see you soon at the next Loyalty Builders webinar.
Thank you too. Bye-bye.